This is one that you just haven't wanted to be on that bear side of.
That every industry veteran that he talks to thinks it's, quote, lunacy to believe that Tesla can ever hit 20 million.
Hey, I'm Steven and this is Solving the Money Problem. If you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. So New Street Research recently updated their Tesla stock price target to a street high of $578 per share. In this video, I'm going to react to some of the mainstream finance media's coverage of this stock upgrade and share my thoughts, comments, and my opinion. So, let's get into the video. But first, hey guys, if you live in the US and would like up to 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600 each, use the link in the description to WeBull and deposit $100 in your account. Each of these stocks will be a minimum of $8 in value, so if you suck at math, that is a 16% ROI on $100. Not bad. And if you're in Australia, the UK, or New Zealand, you can get a free stock with stake, also using the link in the description. Let's get back to it.
Tesla got a new bullish vote of confidence today on Wall Street. New Street Research upgrading it to a buy price target, now the highest on the street. It's $578. Doc, you still have calls here. They are talking about an addressable market in excess of 20 million units already, which they say is hyper growth ahead.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm betting on too, Scott. This is one that you just haven't wanted to be on that bear side of.
That is definitely true, but hey, let's be honest. I mean, how silly do you need to be to actively bet against Elon Musk, a guy who's clearly multiple standard deviations smarter than you and has a track record of executing on things that everyone said was impossible again and again and again and again. I mean, I really don't feel sorry for the people that have been shorting Tesla stock or negative on the company. It's like, what did you expect was going to happen, right? Something unusual, something that doesn't align with the track record, something that we couldn't infer. I mean, really? Were you hoping for an asteroid impact that just wipes out their headquarters and kills Elon Musk? That's about the only chance of your short position paying off, in my opinion. Let's continue.
Or if you are, you don't want to be on it for longer than just moments in time, because the V-shaped turns that this one has are incredible. We had 40,000 calls at one strike last week, Scott, when I think I spoke about it on the halftime report, and the thing screamed higher. Now, yesterday, they were buying the 420 strike. That was with the stock at 414. It's already boomed through 431 today. So I think this is one that you can certainly follow the fast money in here. And when that fast money lightens up, that's when you should lighten up. But right now, it's just a question of all of these bullish outlooks. They just keep coming, Scott, and the volume on the stock and the derivative side is incredible.
For those of you who don't know, he's actually referring to stock options here. So not owning Tesla stock directly, but making a bet that in the future the stock price is going to be higher than it is today, using a leveraged bet to actually potentially produce a very large return. Now, I personally don't play in the options world, maybe in the future, but at this point in the time, it's not for me. But I'm very curious to know. So in the comments below, guys, let me know, do you use options as part of your investment strategy in Tesla stock?
Just to be clear, I mean, you already owned Tesla calls. You bought more yesterday, right? The October 420s, October 430s, November 450.
Yeah, that's correct, Scott. And like I say, you look at the open interest. Open interest is one way we judge, how many options are out there open that people have purchased. That obviously means there was a seller too. But when you're looking at that opening of new positions, higher and higher and higher strikes, I mean, again, this stock is, I'm not saying unstoppable, and I've already made my case for you want to be disciplined and take money off the table. I have been rolling up from the 410s to the 420s to the 430s, and as you say, out there into the 450s now in November. I think all of them continue to work as long as you're just disciplined and pull some money off the table when you get big moves like today.
Yeah. Go easy on the 420s, Doc, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely be careful with the 420s, or you might end up starting a YouTube channel talking about nothing but Tesla stock.
Okay, yeah, the 420s. That's one of Elon's favorites too, Scott, for obvious reasons.
They, look, this firm, which goes street high price target, is also modeling out well into the future, which is always it's dangerous to do.
All right, let's talk about this. Now, I don't want to pick on the host. I understand where he's coming from here, the thinking, the reasoning behind the comment that you don't want to look out too far into the future, at least it's dangerous to do so, is really based around the idea that the further out into the future you're looking, the more uncertainty, the more variables, and the more unknowns. I totally get this. However, as a long-term investor, aka the only kind of investor. The other type of investor, as they believe themselves to be, are actually just fools, but that's a whole other story, whole other topic for a whole other video. As a long-term investor, it's incredibly important to model out as far into the future as you can possibly see. And the unique situation that we find ourselves in when looking at Tesla, the company, the future growth potential, the potential for the stock to continue to grow in price over time, is that we can see much further into the future than we can for most other companies, and that future is far brighter than most other companies as well. So not only does it look better in the future, but we can see further into the future with reasonable clarity, at least those of us who dig deep enough and really spend the time, the months, even the years understanding what's going on with this company at a fundamental, deep and comprehensive level. This accounts for why Tesla stock is so expensive today, in my opinion, because everybody who's taken the time to have a really thorough, deep look at the company and look forward into the future is seeing the same thing that I am. Tesla has won the decade, and while many who haven't actually spent the time doing the work will be very dismissive of these types of numbers, it's just evidence of their ignorance or their lack of work on Tesla stock. They haven't spent any time thinking about it. All you need to do is look at the rate that they're increasing their production capacity. Look at their projected output. Shanghai alone is going to be producing 1 million plus vehicles per year. Berlin's going to be producing 2+ million per year. Fremont's probably going to be doing about 750,000 per year at its max capacity. We've got the Austin factory as well that's going up. All we need to do is look at the numbers and infer a little bit. These things become very obvious. Tesla is on the right path to continue increasing output indefinitely. They're going to get to these types of numbers unless a disaster happens. Yet, of course, the short-sighted investors, analysts, clowns in the mainstream finance media, etc. can't see beyond their own feet. They're like, they're going to produce maybe 700,000 cars next year? How do they get to 20 million? That's so silly. Don't buy this stock. I'm earning my paycheck today.
Obviously, but they're looking $16 earnings per share in 2026. They say $1,200 stock price at the end of 2025.
Could one of you guys or girls remind me in about 5 years' time just to clip that on loop? I think it'll be great as a bit of a historical archive to preserve some of the reactions to the claims that I hear about Tesla stock that I personally believe are extremely reasonable, yet most in the mainstream, not everybody, but most in the mainstream think are laughable at this point in time. I just can't help myself. It's like, dude, I wouldn't have done that. That video is not going anywhere. It's still going to be here in 2025. So is this channel, and I will see you guys then.
I know it's easy to make fun of that, but the fact of the matter is they put it on paper.
Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the guy laughing has actually read the research that's being discussed? I don't know. What's your gut feel?
Jethro, you used to own this stock and you don't anymore.
Right. We had owned it. It worked very well for us. We had, great performance from Tesla, but we decided to pull back and take the chips off the table, if you will. I mean, obviously, at the time we bought it, we recognized that Tesla was, more than just an automobile company, right? It's geared to, solar, clean energy, which are some of the more longer-term thematic areas within tech. But it got a little pricey for us, and we just took the chips off the table.
Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Now, I kind of wish this guy had mentioned when they purchased Tesla stock, what they paid, and also when they sold and what they sold for. Would add some wonderful context. But in either case, it is what it is. I only manage one portfolio of assets, my own, so I'm sure that they have their own criteria, so I'm not going to judge on the idea of selling Tesla stock. All of it, I mean, I'm not even going to judge on that. But I do just want to pose the question. Why at this point in time would anybody sell Tesla stock who currently owns it unless out of necessity? That's an important question, because from where I stand now, I can see well beyond a decade into the future, and Tesla is just getting started, okay? As this New Street Research price target upgrade to $578 per share came out for Tesla stock, they also noted that Tesla is going to be in hypergrowth mode for the next decade, and I agree, they're just getting started. The battery opportunity, still just a spec. The energy distribution opportunity with automated software, virtual power plants, still just a spec. The autonomy opportunity, still just a spec.
Yeah. The last point I'll make is that Phil LeBeau is emailing to give us some perspective too. Nobody knows it better than Phil. That every industry veteran that he talks to thinks it's, quote, lunacy to believe that Tesla can ever hit 20 million.
Now, Phil LeBeau is relatively well connected in the auto industry, especially in the US. Now, I'm not sure if the people that he's speaking to are just saying what they feel they should be saying to him, knowing that he might talk about this stuff in the press, in the media, etc., and they don't want to panic their shareholders, something like that. But if this isn't the case, if they genuinely truly believe what they're saying, that it's absurd, ridiculous, laughable that Tesla will ever reach those kind of volumes, 10, 20 plus million vehicles per year. This should scare the living shit out of anybody invested in these legacy automakers. If they truly don't believe that Tesla has the potential to get to that unit capacity, they are absolutely fucked. Big time. I mean, fucked. Not only because they haven't taken the necessary steps to start chasing after Tesla, but they don't even realize how far ahead Tesla is and what a dominant position they're in. This is such an important data point. It's game over, Legacy Auto. I keep saying it. They're all going bankrupt this decade. Maybe a few will get acquired or merged, but it's going to be an absolute slaughter.
They point out, says Phil, that most vehicles ever sold by an automaker in 1 year is 10.5 to 11 million. Toyota and Volkswagen both got to that level a few years ago. So it is good to put it into perspective like Phil does for us, Shan, when looking at these forecasts, which I know we're sort of chuckling about. The numbers are big and they do go far out.
Yes, the numbers are big and they do go far out. That's why I continue to invest every spare cent that I have in Tesla today, because I've looked far out and seen those same numbers. Isn't that crazy?
I think that total addressable market is, it's a blessing and a curse in some ways. I mean, obviously there's a huge total addressable market for automobiles, but there remains a lot of skeptics as it relates to electric vehicles.
The fact that today there are still EV skeptics, that is, people who don't believe that at some point in the future 100% of new vehicle production will be electric, it's kind of embarrassing for them. I mean, this is tantamount to being a gravity skeptic or a round earth skeptic. These are people that simply haven't studied disruptive, innovative technology. They don't know what an S-curve adoption even is, and they've got no way of grasping or comprehending what is happening before their very eyes. It's too early on the S-curve. 1, 2, 3, 4% of global production. I don't get it. Okay, cool. Well, that's okay, guys. Let's talk in 5 years.
The ability of Tesla to share their intellectual property and monetize it across other industries, that's still nascent. And so for us, this has always been a tough stock to be in. We haven't bought the stock. We're not in it now. But certainly we want to see sustainability and a plan to get to not only those vehicle numbers, but also to monetize all of this great intellectual property that Tesla is demanding as it relates to this valuation.
Yeah. I think what she's referring to here is the likelihood that in the future, Tesla will be able to license their battery technology, maybe their full self-driving software, and perhaps other tech to other companies as well. I'm sure this is going to happen. It's interesting now to hear that that's being raised as a potential point to look out for in the future. So I hope you guys have found this video insightful. I just wanted to show you how the mainstream finance media is reacting and covering this street high price target on Tesla stock of $578, 1 year price target, and a 2025 price target of around $1,200 per share. Now maybe I'm reading into the tea leaves a little bit too much, but I've seen so much mainstream finance media coverage of Tesla that it seems to me that there's still a very heavy negative bias towards the company. The fact that one of the guests, I don't know the guy's name, let me know in the comments who the dude was that laughed at the idea of a $1,200 price target. Maybe he jumped the gun and thought that that was a 12-month price target, hadn't read the research that he was being interviewed about. I don't know what the deal is there, so I'm not going to say too much more. But the fact that this was comedic, the idea of Tesla getting to 10, 20 plus million units per year, this wasn't a discussion the panel was having like, oh, it seems pretty likely. I mean, they're building out their production, the fact that that discussion still isn't happening gives me the impression that the mainstream finance media is still completely disconnected from the reality of Tesla. And those comments from Phil LeBeau coming from the executives, the higher ups in the legacy automakers, saying that it's absolutely ridiculous that Tesla's ever going to get to those kind of unit volumes. Oh man, I'm so glad I don't own any stocks of any of those companies. I'm Stephen Mark Ryan. This is Solving the Money Problem, and I love you all. And don't forget your free stocks with WeBull and stake using the links below. Open a new WeBull account, deposit $100 and you'll get 2 free stocks valued up to $1,600. And stake, spin the roulette wheel, you'll either get Nike, GoPro or Dropbox. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. I read all your comments. P.S. If you're still watching, you're awesome. If you'd like early access, exclusive videos, regular Q&As, our private Discord server and more, consider supporting the channel at patreon.com/solvingthemoneyproblem so I can keep creating content for you guys. There's a link in the description. You can now also become a member of the channel for some exclusive perks. To learn more, click the join button next to subscribe. And don't forget to check out our merch store. Either way, the best form of support is you being here and watching, so thanks again.